Hey friends, it's week 1. You're doing great. Thank you for bearing with me. Yesterday I was sick as a dog. I feel like I was in the land of the dead. Kind of was, but I'm back and it's exciting. But I wanted to talk to you. I know April posted the question, how's everybody doing with the tracker? Any questions you have on the tracker? Are you filling in the tracker? How's the tracker? What's the tracker? Hopefully you got the tracker. Hi, Diane. The cool thing about the tracker is, first of all, it's beautiful. And secondly, this is gonna be a resource for you that is gonna collect data from day to day to day, which is so exciting. And here's the fun part, is that unlike other plans, unlike other diets, we're not dieting, we are tracking data. So when you hop on the scale, it's not emotional. It's a number, it's data, and you're gonna write it down. When you're writing down your food, there's no guilt or shame. You're not looking at calories, you're not looking at macros, you're not looking at any of that. It's data. You're seeing what fuels you, what makes you full and satisfied, what leaves you feeling energized, and what doesn't. It's data. You get to be a detective. The other things on there, the water, how much water should you be drinking? We know that you should probably drink about half your body weight in water, but you might need more. I actually thrive at about 120 ounces, but I'm not 240 pounds, but 120 ounces is like a sweet spot. Your tracker doesn't look pretty. Well, good, data, 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 right? And if you're talking about what you're tracking doesn't look pretty, that's probably old mindset. And that's totally cool because it's gonna take a while to change your mind about what you're writing down. The other things that you're gonna find on your tracker are places for exercise, which as you know is optional. That is a bonus. That is the cool part about 2B Mindset. When you really start to figure out what makes you thrive in your skin, the exercise really is just a place of love. It's just a place of self-care. It's not a place of I have to, it's truly an I get to. We'll talk more about exercise later, but if you don't fill that in, that's okay. The poop box, you better check that daily. And if not, let's talk about that, what we can do to be getting you moving. But I really want to talk about a box that stumps people. I just went live in our other group that's kind of the people who have gone through a mastermind and have been just progressing with the lifestyle, or maybe they started in May when we launched the new 2B Mindset style of life. And that's always an area like, what does that mean, me time? What does that mean? Because I think we as society make me time to mean this luxurious day at the spa. We're gonna go get a mani and pedi. We're gonna have wine with the girls. And while all those things are good, that's not exactly what this is intended to do, and certainly not every day. I don't know many of you that are like, you know, ladies who lunch, real housewives of whatever. So I want you to think about, in your past, it's possible that you looked at me time as a way to escape. It might have been a time where you were frustrated with everything else going on in your life and you needed some me time, some getaway. Maybe you went and spent a lot of money at the mall, or maybe you went and overindulged in your favorite ice cream, or whatever that is. And again, there's no guilt, shame, or condemnation in that. Those patterns were there for a reason, and we'll get to that. We'll talk about how you develop those. But I want you to think of me time as a place of just coming back to you, getting back to who you are, letting that be me time. If you haven't gotten to the videos yet that talk about being productive, not destructive, you'll hear Alana say that a lot. So low battery, that's destructive. So me time is really designed to help you push into that woman that you're becoming. I love that because it's that stuff that fires us up, that keeps us level-headed but forward-focused. All right, so let's talk about what does me time look like? Now, we started off talking by tracking, and let's go back to tracking, because in a day where you have chaos, maybe you have kids homesick, or your plans have gone off the rail, or things just haven't lined up the way that you wanted to, taking 2 minutes to track down your food, try it, track it, and see, to write those things down. Everybody's got 2 minutes to track, right? And that just kind of brings your day into a centered spot. You get to look at things, you get to write down any other insights that you have for the day. Maybe those areas that were stressing you out, an area that you just felt like, oh, I really could use a bowl of Doritos right now. Or whatever that is, you're jotting that down. You're jotting down maybe that you were late, you woke up late, or maybe that you got in an argument with your spouse. Those things just become data, but you're tracking it all down. And it's so important because that little bit of me time, because you deserve it, right? You're a detective in this, you're learning your body, your body's a chemistry lab. that will pay dividends over time. So tracking can actually be part of your me time. What about, let's go back to exercise. If you're exercising and it's a more restful practice, so maybe you're doing some good stretching, or you went for a walk with a friend, or maybe you do yoga or Pilates or something like that, that's completely restful and relaxing and rejuvenating, I would say that doubles as me time. Now, if you're doing some sort of spin class or getting your butt kicked for cardio, I don't know that that's necessarily me time. That's doing good stuff for you, and that's certainly exercise, but I want you to think of me time as something that really empowers you and fuels you in a really relaxed state. All right? What about simple things? What are some simple things that don't cost a lot? Things like clipping your nails, maybe painting your nails at home, maybe doing a face mask, plucking your eyebrows, doing those little things of self-care that we often, I know me, push aside. Like, I don't make time for them until I'm in carpool line and I'm like, oh my gosh. But that can be me time, taking those few minutes and really capturing those. What about reading a bit of your favorite book before bed? What about going to bed 30 minutes early? Or what about sleeping in 10 minutes one morning? Giving yourself that little bit of extra me time that fuels your soul, that refreshes you and awakens you. Here's one that you might push back on, but hear me out. I think that planning your grocery list can be me time. This is what I mean by that. If you've ever been that person that is kind of fly by the seat of your pants, it's spontaneous and doesn't like to pre-plan stuff, or maybe feels like that's stifling, this actually will free up your mind to do other things because we only have so much willpower. So capturing those things, those foods that you've discovered that really help you feel great, writing them down, maybe planning some new recipes for next week, that can be me time that pays dividends as well. All right? What about house projects? What about fun things organizing things? I feel like everybody's KonMari, I don't even know how to say it, KonMari-ing their houses right now. I'm trying. That can be me time. And in fact, it's funny, I was doing my closet and I'm doing it in chunks. I don't have a whole lot of time on the weekends, but I'll take 15 minutes, set my timer on my phone, pull out a few of my sections of clothes, go through them, put them away, and it leaves me feeling rejuvenated. It makes me feel productive, not destructive, and it's so fun. It's so fun to see that end result. So that can be me time. What about crafts, arts and crafts with your kids? You might be a homeschool mom, or you might be somebody doing projects with your kid at night for homework. That can be me time. That's great one-on-one time. I like the phrase that outer order brings inner calm. I think that's a really good thing to think about when we're talking me time. And I've talked too long, so I apologize for that, but I want to give you a couple more of my favorites. I love hot tea. I love to have a cup of hot tea in my hands. I subscribe to a tea service, so once a month they curate a subscription for me. I get to try all these different teas, and it's just relaxing. It kind of makes me stop for a minute because you gotta let it steep. It's this whole ritual. So that's me time for me. Also, I take my shoes off and go walk around in the grass. I could talk about microbiome and how that helps your body, but really I just love it. It's kind of a flashback to my childhood, carefree days. And then I talk a lot about breathing. I think I shared with you guys the other day, breathing. Putting some essential oils in your hands, rubbing them together, and then breathing and holding, exhaling and holding, and doing that 3 or 4 times. That's really great, free me time. So me time doesn't have to cost a lot of money, doesn't have to be super planned, but it should recenter you, give you a break, balance you a little bit, and really make you feel like you're pushing forward to that woman that you're becoming. So I'd love to celebrate you and get great ideas because sharing is caring. So give me some ideas of what you're doing currently or what you would love to do as me time. So comment below, share those with the group. Love you guys.